नमस्कार दोस्तों, इंजीनियर त्रिवेंद्र क्यूज में आप सभी का स्वागत है। आज का विषय है जनरल कंडीशन ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट। तो चलें हम पहले सवाल की ओर। इन केस सबमिशन ऑफ बिड सिक्योरिटी इन द फॉर्म ऑफ बैक गारंटी, व्हाट शैल बी इंश्योर्ड? द ऑप्शन 1 is a scanned copy of the bank guarantee shall be uploaded on e-procurement portal, that is IREPS, while applying to the tender. Option B, the original bank guarantee should be delivered in person to the official nominated as indicated in the tender document within 5 working days of deadline of submission before closing date of the submission of the bid. Option C, both A and B, and D, only A. And the right option is both A and B. Does mean a scanned copy of the bank guarantee shall be uploaded on the e-procurement portal when it is applied tender, or when it is physical, the original bank guarantee should be delivered in person. On submission of a scanned copy of bank guarantee with the bid dash and or non-submission of original bank guarantee with the specified period shall lead to summary rejection of the bid. And option A, e-tendering portal, B, WCMS, C, GEM, or D, all. And the right answer is e-tendering portal, that is IREPS. For how many period the tender security shall remain valid beyond the validity period of the tender? And the options are 60 days, 90 days, 120 days, and D, 30 days. And the right answer is 90 days. The bank guarantee shall be placed in an envelope which shall be sealed. The envelope shall clearly bear the identification bid for that project and shall clearly indicate the name and address of the bidder. In addition, where the bid due date should be indicated on the envelope. And the options are on the right hand corner of the envelope, on the right hand bottom corner of the envelope, anywhere, not necessary to show due date on envelope. And the right option is on the right hand top corner of the envelope. If the envelope is not sealed and marked as instructed, the railway assumes no responsibility for the misplacement or premature opening of the contents of the bid submitted and consequent loss, if any, suffered by the bidder. Is it true or false? And the right option is it is true. Before submitting a tender, what should be done by the tenderer? The option A, he should satisfy himself by actual inspection of the site and locality of the work. He should not satisfy himself by actual inspection of the site and locality of the work. And going to the site is not primarily necessary before submitting the tender, or D, none. And the right answer is he should satisfy himself by actual inspection of the site and locality of the work. While submitting tender, tenderer shall taken into account which clause of the standard GCC shall the rates he entered in the tender form are adequate and also inclusive to accord with the provisions SGCC for the completion of the work to the entire satisfaction of the engineer. And the right answer is clause 37. Why which CGST Act tenders are examining various provisions? And the right option is CGST Act 2017. Full form of CGST, and the full form of CGST is Central Goods and Services Tax. Full form of IGST, and full form of IGST is Integrated Goods and Service Tax. Full form of UTGST. The full form of UTGST is Union Territory Goods and Service Tax. Tenders will issue the full benefit of dash likely to be availed by them is duly considered while quoting rates. And the options are input tax credit, input tax clearing, Indian taxation credit, or none of these. And the right answer is input tax credit. That means tenders will ensure that full benefit of input tax credit likely to be availed by them is duly considered while quoting rates. The successful tenderer who is liable to be registered under the CGST, IGST, UTGST or SGST Act shall submit dash along with other details required under CGST, IGST, UTGST, SGST Act to Railway immediately after the award of the contract, without which no payment shall be released to the contractor. And the right answer is GSTIN. Who is responsible for deposition of applicable GST to the concerned authority? And the right option is contractor. Contractor is responsible for deposition of applicable GST to the concerned authority. In case the successful tenderer is not liable to be registered under the CGST, IGST, UTGST or SGST Act, the railway shall deduct the applicable GST from his or their part या their bill under reverse charge mechanism and deposit the same to the concerned authority. Is it true or false? And the right option is it is true. When work is tendered by a firm or company, the tender shall not be signed by the individual legally authorized to enter into the commitments on their behalf. Is it true or false? And it is false. The railway will be bound by any number of attorney granted by the tender or by changes in the composition of the firm made subsequent to the execution of the contract. Is it true or false? And it is false. If any power of attorney granted by the tender or changes in the composition of the firm made subsequent to the execution of the contract, then recognition of such power of attorney what is necessary for the railway. And the right answer is obtaining proper legal advice. If any power of attorney granted by the tenderer or changes in the composition of the firm made subsequent to the execution of the contract, then recognition of such power of attorney, if proper legal advice is taken, then cost of which will be beared by the railway. Is it true or false? And the right answer is it is false. The tenderers shall submit a copy of certificate stating that all their statements or documents submitted along with bid are true and factual. A standard format of certificate to be submitted by the bidder is enclosed as, and the right option is Annexure 5. In case of other than company or property firm, which annexure shall be submitted by each member of a partnership or firm, joint venture or Hindu undivided family, limited liability partnership, etc., as the case may be. And the right answer is Annexure 5 and 5A. It shall not be mandatory incumbent upon the tenderer to identify, state and submit the supporting document duly self-attested digitally signed by which they or he is qualifying the qualifying criteria mentioned in the tender document. Is it true or false? And the right option is it is false. The railway does not reserve the right of not to invite tender for any of the railway work or works or to invite open or limited tender, and when tenders are called to accept a tender in whole or in part or reject any tender or all tenders without assigning reasoning for any such action. Is it true or false? And the right option is it is false. In case of tender is accepted by part by the railway administration, letter of acceptance shall be issued as counter offer to the tender, which shall be subjected to the acceptance by the tender. Is it true or false? And it is true. With a view to assess the tenders technically without being influenced by the financial bids, which type of tendering system is adopted, and that is known as two-packet system of tendering. For what value railway shall conduct pre-bid conference with the prospective bidder? And the right option says intenders have advertised value more than 50 crore or as mentioned in the tender document. Which policy issued by Government of India as amended from the time to time shall be followed by the consideration of the tenders? And the right option is provision of Make in India policy 2017. Which department is competent authority for registering of bidder for permission to bid from a country which share land boundary with the India? And the right option is Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. To assist in the examination, evaluation and comparison and pre-qualification of the tender, the railway may, at this discretion, ask any bidder for a clarification of its bid. And the right option is it is true. Any clarification submitted by a bidder that is not in response to a request by the railway shall be entertained or considered. Is it true? And it is false. The railway request for clarification and the response of the bidder in this regard shall be in writing. For execution of contract document, if tender is a firm or company, as duly authorized representative shall appear. There would be no need for appear in person if agreement is signed digitally. Is it true or false? And the right option is true. Execution of contract agreement within how many days of notice from the railway that contract agreement is ready? And the right option is 7 days. If a bidder does not provide clarification of its bid by the date and time communicated in the railway request for clarification, the bid shall be evaluated as per the, and the right option is documents submitted along with the bid. The contract agreement shall be entered into by railway only after submission of, and the right option is valid performance guarantee by the contractor. If a contractor fails to execute contract agreement within a stipulated time, then failed contractor shall be debarred from participating in the retenders for the work. Is it true or false? And it is true. Every contract shall be complete in respect of the document. It shall be constitutes not less than number of copies of the contract document shall be signed by the competent authority and the contractor if agreement is not signed digitally. And the right option is 2. For zonal contracts awarded on the basis of the percentage or below, the applicable charges of a standard schedule of rates for the whole or part of the financial year, the contract agreement required to be executed by the tenderer whose tender is accepted shall as per specification form, and the right option is Annexure 2. During the currency of the zone contract, work order as per a specimen form Annexure dash for works not exceeding rupees dash each shall be issued to the divisional railway manager or executive engineer under the agreement of the zone contract, and the right option is A, 3 and 5 lakhs. Does mean during the currency of the zone contract, work order as per specimen form Annexure 3 for works not exceeding 5 lakhs each shall be issued by the divisional railway manager or executive engineer under the agreement of the zone contract. For zonal contract, what is the maximum value of an individual work order? And the right answer is 5 lakhs. For contracts for a specific work, the contract document required to be executed by the tenderer whose tender is accepted shall be an agreement as per a specimen form, and that is Annexure 4. Full form of DIPP. The full form of DIPP is Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion. Work should be commenced within how many days after receipt of the order to the effect if tender is accepted? And the right option is 15 days. Tenders containing erroneous erasures and alterations of tender document are liable to be rejected. Does this statement true or false? So it is a true. The tenderers shall keep the offer open for a minimum period of dash days in case two packet system of tendering dash days from the date of the closing of the tender, and the right option is 60 and 90. Does mean the tenderer shall keep the offer open for a maintenance period of 60 days in case two packet system of tendering, and it will be 90 days from the date of the closing of the tender. Thank you for watching this video. If you find this video useful, then write your comment and share with your friends.